Welcome to a brand new episode of Johnson Score. Today, I'm super excited to bring to you a special guest all the way from ISU. His name is Jack Waddle. Say what's up, Jack.
What's up, guys?
All right, guys. So Jack Waddle is my brother Aiden's best friend from high school. And so Beagle couldn't be on the podcast tonight because he had some things come up. But he did go to a 76ers game for $5, guys. So hey, can't beat that for a preseason game, and got to see the whole starters start. So wishing him luck, and hopefully he'll be back on next week. But if not, hey, Jack might be back on. This guy might not just be a special guest. So last week I went 7-9 with my record. Beagle went 9-7 for a total of Beagle having 35 wins, 28 losses, and that one freaking tie, guys. I'm 29 wins, 34 losses, and one tie. So like I said, something drastically needs to change so I can, start going. But going 7-9 is definitely not going to help. Now, with that being said, we're going to go straight into the NFL injuries. Now, Jack watches football. He's a big Colts fan. And I don't know if you saw or not, but Jonathan Taylor has an ankle injury and will not be playing this Thursday night. How long do you think he's going to be out with the ankle injury, Jack?
I'm hoping just this week because, with an ankle injury like that, they were talking optimistic earlier in the week about him possibly playing Thursday. So my mindset is he'll be ready for next week, ready to go. Obviously, losing him tomorrow night is going to be rough. With it being a short week, though, you kind of expect that.
Absolutely.
Out of any player. We also have Darius Leonard's out, so that's a big blow to our defense.
That's huge. Yeah, he's out with a concussion. I was just about to say that.
But that's to be expected, especially with all the Tua news as well. With
Absolutely.
Tagovailoa getting so hurt 2 weeks in a row and it causing a bunch of controversy. I think every player with a concussion now is automatically out for the next week. I think they just made that a rule. So yeah, hopefully we can get those guys back for the game next Sunday. Shouldn't be too long of an absence, but the Broncos game is going to make it a tough one, that's for sure.
Absolutely, man. I agree with that as well. And everyone who saw that Tua injury, prayers are for that man, dude, because he definitely that was a huge injury. And the way that his fingers went and things like that, I was watching that game actually, and they were saying that is your body's natural response to when your head hits really hard, and the way that it happened. But he is doing better now, and I know he's probably going to be out for at least, I think they're going to play safe, and he's going to be out for a month, just because Tua's their franchise quarterback, so I don't think they want to play any games, especially, he thought he was okay, everyone thought he was okay, and then something like that happens drastically. So definitely understand what you're saying there, Jack. Like you said, having concussion, you're probably out just next game just to play it safe. But then Cordell Patterson, who is the running back for the Atlanta Falcons, is out. He's on for his knee. He's on injured reserved, and that is a big blow to the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know too much if you watch the Atlanta Falcons or not, but he started as, a kick returner and whatnot, and eventually became a starting running back in the league. And hopefully that he'll be able to come back and get off injury reserve sooner rather than later. Also, Javonte Williams, running back, he is on IR with a knee injury as well. This is for the Denver Broncos. So they're going to be missing their starting running back as well, just like we are. He tore his ACL. He's going to be out probably for the entire year. So the Colts and Broncos definitely be banged up at running back position, but we both have backup running backs, so we'll see how that game's going to go. Now, Jack, moving on to the shocking games of the week. Just kind of want, your opinion of how the Lions and Seahawks were able to score the most points out of anybody from last week. What did you, kind of think, looking over those highlights, what was going through your mind?
Oh, man. Geno Smith. Where is this coming from Geno Smith? This is like
I agree.
A resurgence of his career almost. It's
I agree.
exciting to see. The Seahawks are an entertaining team to watch. watch just because, I mean, you have the Russell Wilson trade, and then, I mean, everybody knew that Geno Smith was a solid backup option. But for him to come in and just kind of play lights out is, I mean, speaks a lot to, like, how hard of a worker that guy is.
Yes.
Jared Goff's been playing really well. It's making the Stafford trade even from years prior. It's making I would question if the Rams made the right choice on that. Obviously, they get a Super Bowl out of it, but at the same time, the Rams aren't playing very well. You see the Lions. The Lions are 1-3, but they're not playing bad football at all.
They're not playing like they're 1-3 at all whatsoever.
No, yeah. You get their defense stacked up a little bit. Lions are a real team to watch out for.
Absolutely, and I think I saw a stat that's saying Geno Smith through his first 4 games ever. This is his highest completion rating of 75%.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I saw statistics saying how he's outplaying Russell Wilson right now, and I mean that definitely makes you question. It's early in the season, so it's hard to tell. But at the same time, I mean, he's doing it this early. Like, what makes you think he can't keep it up?
No, exactly. I agree, and we'll see because I think that whole division is 2-2, the NFC West. So the Lions and Seahawks had a crazy game, the overhit in that one. But then I also want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the Commanders. And the reason I want to talk about that is because Dak Prescott went out week 1 with a thumb injury. He has to get surgery. He's going to be coming back in the coming weeks. But Cooper Rush is 4-0 as a Cowboys starter. Can you believe that, Jack?
I mean, not really. It's hard to believe. I mean, Cowboys, I feel like, get lucky with their quarterbacks time and time again.
They do.
They have one go down, and the next one steps in and is ready to go. I don't know if that's a testament to good coaching or good drafting. I mean, they've been through a couple head coaches now, and they just seem to always land with their backups. But Dak, I don't know. I find Dak to be very streaky when it comes to his quarterback play.
I agree.
When he plays well for weeks at a time, but when he plays bad, he's bad.
Absolutely.
Cooper Rush can be more consistent. I mean, a position battle might be in play.
No, absolutely. And, I didn't expect the Cowboys to play this well without Dak Prescott. I was like, hey, they're just going to have to stay above water. Like, they're going to have to float until Dak comes back. But that is the complete opposite. I mean, yeah, they haven't been playing good competition. But I don't know who they played this week. I want to say they played the Eagles, but I'm not sure. But, I think when they start playing harder opponents, their true colors are going to show and see how well Cooper Rush does play. But, just to be 4-0, that's crazy. But, good for Cooper Rush, though. This is, like, the highlight of his career so far. Like, 4-0 as a starter. He's always been a backup. Like, what more could you ask for from that guy? Nothing.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's, and again, he does it against the Commanders, which the Commanders aren't a great team by any means, but they have talented players on that roster, so it's kind of like, I think everybody kind of expected the Cowboys to win, but to be led by a backup quarterback is still is a testament to kind of the coaching and the atmosphere of the locker room right now.
No, absolutely. I agree with that. So we're going to go through one more shocking game before we get into our picks of what we think who's going to win each game this week. Now, with that being said, the last game we have is the Ravens versus the Bills. Now, as I go and look at this, the Bills won by 3. But the box score at the end doesn't really tell you how the game went. Now, the Ravens were winning most of this game, Jack, as if you've done your research and you saw, the Ravens were winning all the way up until the end, went for it on 4th and goal, didn't get it, turned the ball over. The Bills go all the way down the field and kick a field goal to win the game. Now, what does that tell you about, the Bills and the Ravens, just how, Lamar is possibly going for MVP this year. He's one of the favorites. But then Josh Allen and the Bills are one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. Do you believe that this is going to be a AFC championship game possibly?
I could definitely see it being an AFC championship game. I see it more as a game that we're going to look back on during the MVP race and be like, and wonder who would pick. Because I think Josh Allen and Lamar are those two guys. I mean, Lamar's obviously playing his ass off for a contract right now, and then
Deserves
Josh
one.
Allen's just trying to prove to the world that he's the baddest motherfucker in football, which he's proved to be week after week. I mean, like, I'm looking at the box score right now. You see Baltimore scores 14 in the first, goes up by 10 in the second. And, I mean, that Bills defense is good. That Bills defense is probably the best in the league. So for Baltimore to come back on that defense, or to score that many points on that defense that early on, I mean, it says something about the Ravens and their offense and how productive they could be for the rest of the year.
Absolutely, I agree.
The Bills pulled it together late game, so.
It just shows you have to be an all-around football team to be able to win games.
Exactly, yes.
You can't just be an offensive team and expect your defense, to go out there and hopefully survive, or defense and then your offense to survive, the other way around. So it doesn't matter, but like you said, I like that what you said. We're going to look back at this game and be like, man, who do we pick for MVP if it comes down to those two guys right there? So I like that. Now we're going to go into our picks of the week. Now, this is my favorite part of the week. I know this is going to be Jack's favorite segment on the podcast as well. Like I said, Beagle's not with it this week, but he'll be sending me his picks, so I'll be writing those down. But we're going to go with Jack's picks as well and see, how good he does this week. So to start out, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but the Colts are playing the Denver Broncos. I didn't realize I'm wearing an orange shirt. I'm not really rooting for the Broncos, but I do like Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson hasn't been living up to that contract hype that he's gotten now that he's on the Denver Broncos. But I think it's going to take a lot. I don't expect him to just be like that. I don't expect for it to click right away. It's going to take, halfway through the season before things start going. But those Colts, man, I think Jack can talk to you about it all day. And I'll kind of let him go into it a little bit, just kind of how he feels about the season so far and who he thinks is going to win this game. So, Jack, let me hear your thoughts.
Oh, man. Indy's been disappointing this year, to say the least. But at the same time, Colts fans, time and time again, we always start slow. We're always starting 1-3, 1-4. I mean, we had that last season with Luck, we went 1-5, and ended up making the playoffs even. So, it's disappointing, yes, to see them tied to the Texans, lose to the Jaguars again, in Jacksonville. But that's also what we expect. We expect that every year. We expect to grind out those divisional games and then drop them and then play really well, come back fourth quarter. But in my opinion, the Indy season never really starts until about week 5 or 6 when the season really gets underway. Is when they tend to pull it all together. So I think this Denver game is going to be huge for them, especially having, like I said earlier, you have Darius Leonard out, you have Jonathan Taylor out. So right there, those are your two best players on both sides of the ball that are out. And if they can pull this out against Denver, I think it's going to be like a morale boost like it was last year when we beat the Cardinals when half the team was out with COVID and it was just backups playing. When you get those kind of wins, those gritty wins with just backup players like that, I mean, it's a testament to the roster. It's a testament to the coaching. So, obviously, we're rolling with the Colts this week. With that being said, it's going to be a hell of a game in Denver. Russell Wilson, like you said, has a lot to prove. So, it's going to be exciting for sure.
Absolutely, man. I'm a Colts fan as well. I'm actually wearing Colts socks right now, which is kind of funny. But I think that, I think the Denver Broncos only pull this game out because you're going to Denver. I think it's hard to play in that higher altitude going there. And, I mean, I know you spend, it's a short week, so you don't spend as long as what you normally would there if you were playing on a Sunday or a Monday night. And I think that just goes to show that, playing, having home court or home field advantage definitely plays a factor. I think it's going to be a hard-fought, gritty game for both sides. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, and I think the under hits 100% in this game. But I'm going Broncos, and Jack is going the Colts. So that is our first pick. That is where we first differ. And let's see how many games we agree on this week and how many games we differ. We'll just have to see. Then at Sunday at 9:30 in the morning, I'll still be sleeping. Jack, will you be sleeping?
I'll Yeah.
Okay, Jack will be
I'm not
sleeping.
waking up for that.
So it's the New York Giants playing the Green Bay Packers. Now, I'll go ahead and give my opinion on this first. The Giants beat the Bears last week. The Giants are not doing too bad in their division, but I think, it's just a fluke. I don't have them winning over 7 games this year. I think the Green Bay Packers will take this game pretty easily. There's nothing I have to really say about this game other than the Packers win. What about you, Jack?
I agree 100%. I don't think the Giants can keep up with Aaron Rodgers
There we go.
and the Packers offense. I'm rooting for A-Rod. I have him on my fantasy team. He's let me down so far this year, so need him to turn. Hopefully he drops like 30 on the Giants, so I can maybe get out of my 0-4 rut.
I think he will for sure, just because they're in London and they want to put on a show. So, but then our Sunday games that officially start at 1 p.m., so those games we'll be able to watch. The first game is the Detroit Lions coming in playing the New England Patriots. Now, Mac Jones is still not playing with a high ankle sprain. I know he's out 4 to 6 weeks, so this is week 2 of that span. But their backup didn't play too bad last week. Versus the Green Bay Packers, actually, it came down to overtime, and the Green Bay Packers won. So that was kind of crazy that the New England Patriots took them all the way there. But experience with Bill Belichick and things like that, you can't not expect that. But the Lions are playing well this year. I don't know if you saw this, Jack, or not, but they have scored the most points this year, and they have allowed the most points on them this year. That's crazy.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Actually, the way their roster is set up, it's pretty offensive heavy.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going Lions here. Yes, I think the Patriots played pretty well, but I think the Lions will win this one.
Oh man, I don't know about this one. This one is almost a toss-up for me.
Okay, I like that though.
At the end of the day, you kind of gotta lean towards New England. They've got the coaching on them. Not to say that Dan Campbell wasn't a great coach in Detroit, but going against Bill Belichick, like you said, their backup hasn't played bad. Bailey Zapp out of Western Kentucky. He's out of some small school.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is.
But I mean, he set NCAA records, I believe, for throwing yards and throwing touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So his ability is definitely there. And they just get lucky too. They're another one of those teams who just drafts good backups. They just know how to draft at the quarterback position.
Very
especially
true.
in those late rounds. So yeah, I'm going with New England.
All right, so we differ there as well, ladies and gentlemen. Then our next game at 1 p.m. is the Chargers coming in playing the Cleveland Browns. Now, honestly, the Browns have been playing well, better than I thought, with not having Watson with the suspension that he's on. Jacoby Brissett, he was our Colts QB. He isn't playing too bad at all. He's keeping those Browns afloat in the toilet bowl. But the Chargers are one of the better teams this year. But with Justin Herbert, still healing from those cracked ribs that he had. This game is going to be a lot closer than what I think a lot of people think. But if I had to go with a team, I'm going to go with. It's not as easy as what I want to think, but I think the Browns are going to win this game. As much as I don't want to say that, I think they just have been playing with more grit, more gritty, and I think Myles Garrett will come back this week, and hopefully Javon Clowney on the defensive end comes back as well. So I'm going Browns.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting game for sure. The Browns have a lot to prove. Starting, I think they're 2-2 right now.
I believe so.
But like you said, the Chargers are off to a hot start. I see Justin Herbert as a dark horse MVP candidate almost.
For sure, yes.
He's going to turn it up mid-season, late season. I think this is the game to do it. Yeah, I'm going Chargers. I just think their offense is going to be too much.
Going Chargers. There we go. All right, we differ again, guys. Then you have an AFC South showdown. You've got the Houston Texans coming in playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I know the Houston, it's an AFC, it's a divisional game, so it's going to be hard fought than what most people think. With that being said, I think that this is decided by 3 or 7 points, And I believe the Jacksonville Jaguars, the way they've been playing this year, off to a hot start. I think they win this game as well.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one. I don't see Jacksonville dropping one to the Texans yet. I don't think the Texans will lose every game, but they'll try their best to get pretty damn close to that. And Jacksonville, it looks like they're finally turning the corner with the Trevor Lawrence saga.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I think Jacksonville's gonna pull that one out for sure.
Jacksonville's going to win. All right. So that pick we agree on. That is the first pick that's the second pick we agree on. And then you have the Atlanta Falcons playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, with that being said, like I said, Cordell Patterson isn't playing. Caleb Huntley, one of their backup running backs who went to Ball State University, scored his first touchdown last week. So congrats to him. Chirp, chirp. Gotta say it. Alumni myself. But I believe that I think Tampa Bay, Tom Brady's going through, divorce papers right now, supposedly rumors, not doing so well, hot with the family. So he needs to have some success somewhere, and on the field is where he's going to find it. So I think the Buccaneers pull it out.
I agree. I definitely agree with that last statement. Tom Brady's pissed off. He's kind of angry at the world right now, I think, and I think he's going to light it up on Sunday. In Tampa Bay, in front of the home crowd. I'm going Tampa Bay.
Absolutely. There we go. Then you have the Steelers coming in and playing the Buffalo Bills. Now, this is a new era for the Steelers. They're starting Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh, who they drafted. Now, I think he's a pretty good guy. I think he'll be a pretty good quarterback. Nothing against Mitchell Trubisky. I think, he's still pretty good as well. But everyone wants to see Kenny Pickett in there. But I think this team really needs to run a two maybe offense kind of quarterback system style, just to kind of see where that goes. If they don't want to, then they can decide what quarterback that they truly want to choose. But this game's going to be pretty easy. I think the Bills are going to win this one. The Steelers are going to have a little bit of good defense, but Bills got the better defense. Bills Mafia all day.
I agree with you on that one. I think Bills are going to rout them pretty easily. They're in Buffalo.
I think they at least beat. At least the Bills probably at least beat them by 20. I'm dropping that right now.
I agree. I think Josh Allen's just playing too lights out right now. He reminds me of my Colts fan bias is going to show, but he reminds me of Andrew Luck a lot. He's fun to watch. Put his body on the line kind of guy. And Kenny Pickett's first start again in Buffalo. That's
going to be rough.
That's a dangerous place to play for your first NFL start. Obviously, he played last week, but didn't get the chance to start the game. So it'll be a good one, but I think it'll be blowout for Buffalo for sure.
Absolutely, I agree. Then you have another divisional showdown with the Miami Dolphins coming in playing the New York Jets. Now the Jets are at home, but I think this game will be a lot closer as well. And I think I haven't decided what I want to name this season yet, even though we're going into week 5. Last year, Jack, I said it was the year of the backups. And this year, I haven't decided what I'm going to name it yet. But this year, games have, like I said, have been way too close to be like, normally I'd be like, Dolphins got this win. Now, if Tua was starting, I'd say yes. But since Tua is not starting, Teddy Bridgewater is still a good quarterback. But the Jets have been playing better than what I freaking expected. And Zach Wilson is now back as well. So I still think the Dolphins are going to win this game. I like Teddy Bridgewater. I'm a Teddy Bridgewater fan. And I think the Dolphins still have the pieces to get done with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. But that's my opinion. What you got, Jack?
I think I got to go New York on this. Zach Wilson's coming back. They've been playing better, like you said, than everybody thought. Divisional matchups tend to get pretty wacky. And I like Teddy Two Gloves. He's my boy for sure. But and like you said, they got Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. I could see it going towards Miami, but I don't know. My gut's telling me New York, so that's what I got to roll with. All
right. He's going Jets. Like I said, it's going to be a great game to watch. Then you go another divisional showdown. I love how many divisional games we're getting this week. It's the Chicago Bears coming in and playing the Minnesota Vikings. Now, if this game was on Monday night, I'd be like Bears all the way. But this game isn't on Monday night. I think Kirk Cousins will be able to, kind of get into his rhythm. I think Dalvin Cook is starting to get a little bit healthier again. I think the Vikings start to get it. They definitely need this win to, stay ahead of in the divisional in the NFC North. So I'm going Vikings here.
Yeah, I'm going to go Vikings as well. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. The first game, I think these are two first year head coaches, I think, facing off for the first time. And that's going to be exciting to kind of see what they scheme against each other. But yeah, I think Kirk Cousins gets in his groove. Dalvin Cook, let's see what he does. And then obviously you got Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen at receiver. They're always solid. So gotta go Vikings.
Yes, sir. Then you have the Tennessee Titans coming and playing the Washington Commanders. Now the Commanders lost last week to the Dallas Cowboys. And I think they lose again. I think Derrick Henry is going to be too much for the Tennessee Titans. And I believe the Tennessee Titans are going to be able to roll over the Commanders by at least 3-7.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see the Titans lose, being in the AFC South, but I just don't think Washington's got it this year. Carson Wentz at the helm. He's too shaky, especially against that Tennessee defense. Is better than what a lot of people give him credit for. So yeah, I got to go Tennessee. And obviously you got Derrick Henry. I mean, he's a beast day in, day out. So yeah, got to go Tennessee.
Exactly. So then our next 1 o'clock game is the Seattle Seahawks versus the New Orleans Saints. Now this game is going to be a lot better than what people think as well because of what Geno Smith has been able to do on the Seahawks. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier and how he's been playing. But I've said it kind of in the preseason, a little bit before the preseason. I said the Saints are going to be a dark horse to win to be a playoff team, that 7 seed or whatever, in the NFC. And if I want to believe that and I want to have that happen, the Saints need to beat the Seahawks. So I'm going Saints here. Jameis Winston pulls it around. That eye surgery is going to finally benefit him.
I agree. I like Jameis Winston. He's an entertaining character. He's a fun guy to watch on the field and off the field as well. They drafted receivers. They got Michael Thomas. I think New Orleans finally kind of hits their grooves. Seattle, like you said, Geno Smith is playing out of his league. But maybe this week he kind of comes back to earth a little bit. That Saints defense is a good one.
Absolutely. Next, we've got the 49ers coming and playing the Carolina Panthers. Jimmy G's getting in that groove again, being that starting QB. George Kittle came back last week. They were able to beat the Rams, and I thought the Rams were going to win, not going to lie. But the Rams have not got off to a start like I thought they would. No, not anybody really, unless you're not rooting for the Rams, then you're like, oh, this is how I thought it was going to go. The Panthers have been playing horrible. Baker Mayfield needs to get his crap together. I like Baker Mayfield. I liked him on the Browns, even when he wasn't playing very well. He was one of my favorite QBs to come out of that draft when he was taken. But he just needs to turn around. He needs to show why he's here. So if he can do that, then the Panthers can win this game. But I'm going 49ers all day.
Yeah, I agree on that one as well. San Francisco's just too electric. Deebo Samuel can put that team on his back and just kind of carry him to the promised land.
That is
especially
true.
Against a team like Carolina.
Exactly. Then you've got a good game. You've got the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a battle of the birds. Let's say that. Battle of the birds. The Philadelphia Eagles playing the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Eagles are the last undefeated team in the NFL. They're 4-0. This is going to make it 5-0. And I believe it happens if they keep the lead. Now, the reason I say that is because the Cardinals have been down big and have been able to come back and win. Now, with that being said, if the Eagles do their business, fly high, they've got this win. They are going to be 5-0, and they're still going to be undefeated. Now, if Kyle Murray can play it and live up to his big contract that he just got, then the Cardinals should win. But I'm going Eagles all day.
I don't know about that one. I'm leaning towards Arizona. Philly, I mean, this is going to be a good game for sure. It's going to be a QB showdown. You have two young starting quarterbacks, kind of with similar play styles. But I think Kyler Murray pulls this one out. Maybe check down the video game controller this week and study film a little bit harder for the undefeated Eagles. So I'm going Cardinals.
That's true though, man. I agree. I think this is going to be a hard fought game. And like I said, it could be a comeback from the Cardinals. We'll see. Then at 4:25, you got the Dallas Cowboys playing the LA Rams. Now, Cowboys have to come in and play the Rams. I think this is going to be Cooper Kupp's true test versus LA Rams. And the only reason I'm going to say the LA Rams get it done and Cooper Rush loses his first starting job game is because the LA defense is going to be too much for him. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that statement. I just think LA's defense, like you said, is just too good. They, especially with, you got Aaron Donald, you got Bobby Wagner now, and then Jalen Ramsey. I mean, they have Pro Bowl talent at every level of the defense, and I think that's going to be a lot for Cooper Rush to handle, especially in LA. I see the Rams pulling it out.
And, I mean, not to say the Cowboys don't have a great defense. They have one of the better defense in the league. But the Rams just have a little bit of better defense. And their offense, I think, is going to pick up this game as well. So, and that's, like I said, I think that Cowboys, Cooper Rush, his big test is going to be going up against Aaron Donald. And he's going to be like, man, I don't want to get sacked by this guy right here.
Yeah. If Matthew Stafford can get through his progressions a little bit better, I think it'll be probably a lopsided game.
Exactly. Next, at 8:20 p.m. on Sunday Night Football, I'll be watching it. Jack will probably be watching it as well while he's playing Madden or something. Probably doing double time. The Cincinnati Bengals are coming in and playing the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I'll give you a little backstory. I am a Cincinnati Bengals fan. Me and my brother Aiden, way back in Madden 2011, had a franchise with Carson Palmer. And, we took that team to Super Bowl multiple times. And so I've always got a piece of me that want to root for the Bengals here. And I want to go with them because who dey, but at the same time, they've got to stop getting that. They've got to fix that offensive line. If they want to be anywhere close to where they were last year in the Super Bowl again, fix that offensive line. And until you do that, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens because Lamar Jackson is looking like the MVP candidate, and he's going to get it if he continues to keep this play up. So I'm going Ravens here.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. They got to fix that offensive line before I ever feel comfortable picking them in a game. I got to go Baltimore as well. Lamar's playing lights out. Mark Andrews playing well. That defense also, I think, is probably going to get to Joe Burrow a little bit. They got to protect their quarterback, or else he's going to have a short-lived career.
No, that was perfect the way you phrase it. Protect your quarterback, or you're going to have a short career. Then you have our Monday night game, which is an AFC West showdown. The Los Angeles Raiders coming in and playing the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I feel like this will be a hard-fought game in the first half, but I think the second half the Chiefs will run away with this game just because I think Mahomes is getting more into his groove. He's showing he can play without Tyreek Hill. Now, the Raiders have a good offense as well with everybody, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs, and their tight end Waller as well. And until they get their groove together, I think the Chiefs are just playing too good for them right now, and I think the Chiefs win this on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that as well. I don't see Derek Carr doing enough. Derek Carr's a great quarterback, and I think he's underrated on many people's radars. But just like you said, that Kansas City offense is going to be too much, especially with Mahomes still running things and finally getting back into the grooves of the way things have been playing. So, yeah, I agree. Kansas City
comes out with that. So, with that being said, everyone, that's it. I put down my picks. Jack has put down his picks. We'll see, how good Jack can do here in picking, these teams, and we'll just see if he can have a better record than me, and then we'll also write down Beagles and see where he's at. But just want to give a special thanks to Jack here for filling in, and like I said, he may become more than just a special guest if he's all right with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Jack. And hey, we might do this again next Wednesday. So just keep your line open for me, my brother.
Yes, sir. Call me whenever you feel like it. I got no issue.
All right. Peace out, Jack. Thank you very much.
See you, dog.